Okay, then we are going live.
Yep.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today will be Eurocast episode 10, and today will be something a little bit different. We'll be mostly testing the connection quality and stuff like that. So that's why it's not advertised anywhere. But this will be more of a cameral show. Let's say that. So, what we'll be talking about today, for example, one thing is those stupid AI things, which I mean, this will be just the start of a trend. We will see it that AI will be tried to be shoved fucking everywhere. So, what we currently have? Oh, it shows no data. I do see data. Okay, never mind. It's something worse. It's something weird. Okay, so when it comes to Humane Labs AI pin, for example, this is one of the best examples of this sort of hardware that I just hate because, like, why the hell is it another thing? It has a camera, it has a laser projector, which I guess gives it some cool factor. But this is another subscription that I have to pay for and gives me access to ChatGPT.
If I had to say for myself, I'd say that it's just basically the same thing as the concept of the Cybertruck. It's like an over-equipped piece of equipment that a less developed quote-unquote car could do for cheaper. But then you add AI on top of it for a monthly revenue for whatever reason. So it's just overcomplicating things for profit,
Yeah,
very
it
simply.
is. It basically tried to marry you to this device so it could lock you in. So this is one thing, and the another thing, like within this humane AI pen, is that the company is already trying to sell themselves. Which I mean, so that's pretty obvious cash grab if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
So
And
that was their playbook. They just started to exist, and now they're trying to find a buyer.
yeah, and with the use of AI, that's not even getting into private the privacy breach type of stuff.
There was this thing about if, YouTube reviewers aren't too big of a threat to small companies that Humane started, which I mean, like, come on, they just wanted to find a fall guy at that point, just saying, like, oh, the reviews were shit. That's why people hated it. No, people hated it because it was horrible.
They really were afraid of people giving out reviews, basically.
Yeah, like, they were surprised that everybody reviewed it as a half baked idea that it is. So that was surprising to absolutely nobody. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but like they tried to spin it like this was somehow the reviewers' fault, which I mean the reviewers could only review what was in front of them, and in front of them wasn't much.
I mean, when you look at corporate hierarchy, basically there's always a disconnect between the higher ups and the field agents, quote unquote.
Oh no,
So,
this was a startup. Like everybody was on board this thing, so I wouldn't necessarily say it was anything due to that.
oh, not even then. Okay.
This was a new
Oh,
company, so they have nothing to recurse to say how bad they screwed this up. And they screwed this up because they had no product. Rabbit one, another thing, which by the way turns out, thanks to Coffeezilla, that it was actually based off of an crypto pump and dump, something like that. First, then of course they started to design their own revolutionary AI hardware that actually is just a mid-range phone with some dressing on top.
oh, so basically the Apple strategy when you add a new feature once every year and you present it as a whole new thing.
Oh, both of those companies were very Apple inspired.
It's
Let's say that.
yeah, yeah.
And both of those ideas were so stupid Because with Rabbit L1, they were calling it the um, large action model. The idea was pretty genius. You just buy this device only once, right? And
Mm-hmm.
once you bought it, it will learn to schedule stuff for you. For example, like it will go to a web page, it will automatically scour that web page, select anything that it needs to, and serve you that way. The issue is that their miracle technology is nothing else than just a scripted web browser, and there's no AI in it.
So it's basically buzzwords when they use AI to qualify their product.
Yeah, they were just using buzzwords to add features to their product that they didn't have, because this large action model, this whole thing, if somebody did update their website, you would need to rebuild it. Like you would need to walk it through it again and basically do it yourself so it can figure this out for you. Which, mind you, this feature isn't even available yet. This feature
Oh,
that I'm talking to you about, that isn't even AI, this isn't even available yet.
so it's basically paying for theoretical features that are not even sure to be available in the future.
Yeah, like there's just no way to know, and there's no AI in it. So what can you say at this point, other than this is a whole compromised branch of a product? Like there's no redeeming qualities to it.
This this is a scam basically.
Both of those are just a plain scam. Uh,
Yeah, this is
and we
like
need to call it, via the name it is. Like, come on, if you just designed one product and now you're trying to find a buyer for your whole department, come on.
the way this you describe this to me, I can't help but make parallels between the gaming industry and the industry of the and the company that you're describing, if you see what I mean.
Yep. And like part of this is that here there's just no way this will rise up into something good, because both this human AI pin and this Rabbit R1 are just using ChatGPT. And to be even more funny, for Rabbit R1, it's specifically that ChatGPT is told to never say it is ChatGPT.
Oh, so basically they present it as a part of their product instead of saying it's
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Instead of that, if OpenAI would want to make a device, how stupid it is that they are making, they would be over. So they are trying to avoid showing that basically their whole business is dependent on OpenAI. Which, I mean, yeah, good business as always uh, usually have some product behind them. Here, there is no product. There is no anything that you can just point to and say, "Hey, we built it." Because, like, come on, like people knew how to make mid-range phones with weird interfaces.
Right now, people are just paying for graphics, basically graphics projects, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and there's like no new capability that those AI devices unlock for you. Like there's nothing that helps your life there. What you would actually need to wait for is integration of LLMs like ChatGPT, or basically those
Hmm.
models into stuff like Siri. This is what you want. This is what you will expect to actually work correctly. Those devices, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's just
that's
so stupid because they were trying to create this whole thing, this whole
yeah.
device around it, where where it will happen. It's on your phone.
The thing is that what I've learned from basically the when you have revolutionary quote unquote technologies like AI and this type of things is that on the early phase of the technology being spread, you're gonna have all type of scams being popularized because of quick cash grab schemes by companies, and we're still in that phase right now. So companies are going to figure out what works out and what doesn't. But hopefully, the features that are actually useful to the customers, like some of which you described a bit before, are going to come out progressively within the coming years.
Yeah, like one of the stupidest thing is that Microsoft is apparently planning to, track us all and basically put spyware on every single one of our devices that will track what we are actually doing on our computers like all the time, and it will
Oh,
try to remember it, which is just crazy and something that
we're
I
not
would
hiding.
totally not want.
We're not hiding anymore.
Yeah, like this is actually a scary shit that they're proposing, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like for companies, it was always a goal to emulate China. So yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, and of course there's, popping out of AI anything. AI CPUs. God damn it. AI CPUs are the most stupid thing. Those are just regular CPUs. And they can have instructions that help neural networks, but what they actually mean most of the time by AI CPU is that you have an additional core that executes some AR workloads. And why it's so stupid? Because it literally does what every GPU on the planet could do forever.
And isn't it basically more energy intensive because of a new core, basically?
I mean, no, not really. This will actually help the energy use. However, still, if you want to use AI heavily, you will do it on your GPU, not on your CPU, not on that core.
Hmm.
That core is tiny compared to your GPU.
What is the appeal of using AI on hardware? Isn't hardware inherently made to serve its purpose? Like, why would you integrate AI to that, especially to a computer part?
I mean, like specialized AI stuff to be integrated in that. There's path forward for it. There are companies that are doing it. There's a company called Cerebras, and they're basically doing this very cool thing called wafer scale compute engine. And basically, what they are doing is they're building a giant AI focused CPU the size of a whole chip, basically like a whole silicon chip that you can order on a wafer. And yeah, it's just pretty cool. It's very, very cool. It has some integrated, processors that will help you train the AI.
Hmm.
But
So,
again, you need a special thing. Uh, However, for most of the stuff that they are proposing, like I just don't see the application of the AI that they're talking about that would actually, justify that sort of an investment. Like why we are not starting with the GPUs, something that people actually have, right?
I mean, I'm not even qualified in that field of work, but I can just tell you that the use of buzzwords to justify an increase in price for profit.
Yeah, like of course those AI CPUs will be sold at a markup, of course, even though those are exactly the same fucking CPUs that were sold to you last year.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, do you think the term shrinkflation will be applicable in that scenario?
I mean, not really. You're still gaining some new features. Still,
Hmm.
upgrading people to newer platform will have its benefits overall. Just, just don't say it's because of AI. It's not because of AI. It's just because you want to do it.
Yeah, because if you let them say that it is because of AI, it will justify basically the increasing cost of future features in the future.
Yeah, like they want to use that. Like you will literally see some phones that will be like, pay us $100 extra to unlock AI stuff on your phone. You will see shit like this. This is
Yeah.
certain at this point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And this will be just, some sort of weird model that will process your photos or whatever. But it will happen eventually. Oh, yeah.
Uh, this is painting a quite bleak future when you mention it like this, really.
I mean, we accepted that heated seats can be a subscription in your car when you actually have those heated seats installed. So
On the entire industry made that a subscription.
now there are just some car makers that actually did. They do install seat warmers on every
Mm-hmm.
car, and they charge you a subscription to unlock this seat warmer,
Yeah.
which is stupid, honestly. And I think this should be illegal
Mm-hmm.
because this is just nickel and diming people. There's no way to pay for it to just unlock it, by the way. This is just a subscription.
Yeah. 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 I can absolutely see how stupid that is in hindsight. Like,
And
I was so.
some people are like, oh, it's just to allow a better mix of features on cars or whatever. No, it's just to charge you every single month for a feature you already have.
Yeah. It's basically the same thing that Apple is doing when they create their own ecosystem of superficial products, and they trap you into buying only their products to be able to maintain and repair your device on the long term.
When it comes to Apple, like I so much am over their whole wearable computing idea. Like, this their glasses. Honestly,
Hmm.
it's not only chock full packed of technology we don't need anymore in current day and year.
Yeah.
There's even no like proper gaming support for it. Hand tracking isn't as performant for what they're doing.
So it's basically over-engineered for no reason.
Yeah, like forget about stuff like VR chat, like people what are actually using VR for. Forget about that part because Apple doesn't care about this.
Hmm.
Which I mean, it just tracks because people are buying that stupid thing and are not using it
Yeah.
because there's like nothing to do. Like people were laughing at Meta, but no, with Apple, I think there is a bigger laugh here. There's literally nothing to do on their headset. Okay, you can watch your Disney Plus subscription, whatever.
And isn't it just like a hindrance when walking around? Like, isn't it even a liability on some points?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is and should be. I absolutely I'm not vibing with that somebody could knock me down by just wearing this stupid thing on their face 24/7. And those things will happen. Like those situations will happen. It's just stupid.
Yeah, this is the type of stuff that only sounds good in the concept room. Like, I don't know. I,
Yeah, and basically the idea is that we are spending the max amount of time on our phones we currently are able to, like physically. So hey, now you have a screen glued to your face.
hmm,
Because
that is,
this is just what this device was made for. Like literally.
yeah, when I think of it, what was the targeted use on average for a person? Did they expect people to wear it for like 3, 4 hours or like up to entire days at a time?
I'm not sure what they expected, but they didn't expect that, which I mean was the obvious part. What would happen? Uh, they definitely didn't expect that part, which is very funny. When it comes to a situation where people just buy this new thing and they don't use it because there's like nothing to do. I mean, usually when you will introduce something new, it will happen. But
Yeah,
here, I mean, there's no point. This stupid thing costs so much that, some people are like, oh, you can use it as a virtual screen. Bitch, you can buy like 3 screens for the price of this thing.
yeah, that's
It
when you
tries so hard to be something that it isn't, right? Like, it tries so hard to be this
futuristic.
entertainment, futuristic, everything device that you need to have. just to work
It's
even.
it's insanely interesting that you mentioned this because on my end I was bombarded with feeds of from Apple like advertisements that painted the picture as if it was the most successful launch in Apple history. But
Like
when
the funny thing is that when I see those Apple ads that are like people using it in the workspace, I cringe so much because I just know that there's like nobody using it.
I mean it will look so fucking dumb in the workspace. Like I don't know. I just try to imagine a situation in which you would even need this. I can't.
Yeah, exactly,
Maybe
because there's just no point to it.
like wait a second. Let me grab my Apple Vision Pro for a second. Like let me grab it. Let me put it on. Let me. I can't even imagine this.
Yeah, so with Apple Vision Pro, the whole shtick was that you can just put it on and it's like real life. And you know what's also like real life? Just real life. You don't have to put this on. It's not that great when you think about it. Doesn't sound that great. But hey, you can be on the moon when watching your Disney Plus and scrolling TikTok feed,
Then
which is just so stupid to use an AR device for that. You can do it already on your phone. It's more comfortable.
at this point, how far are we from like v- uh, augmented reality breathing masks that Apple is gonna try to sell for to people?
I mean, we are very far from it. I don't think it will happen. What I will think will happen is we will have use of that in the military. This
Oh
is
yeah.
something that they are pushing for very, very hard. Mostly because there are sensors that are on your, well, in this case, warriors that can be
Mhm.
used somehow. So this is why they want it.
I mean, yeah, the military will be interesting in a lot of these things. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like Microsoft is pushing very hard for their headset to be in the military.
Hmm.
Still, even though you don't hear about it from Microsoft anymore. So that tells you a lot.
Yep. Trying to bury yeah, the embarrassment, I suppose.
I mean, they need to use it for something. They paid so much money for it, and in the end, nobody's buying that thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
because that's the thing with VR. Nobody's buying it really. Like all people think, hey, this is such a cool technology, but at the same time, it's just not worth it for most people.
yep.
Like they
Because
can't really afford that time.
mhm. It's at the point where, like you said, people can justify spending so much time on it because it isn't performing enough. Like if you go to a VR game, for example, there's a lot of issues, but a few you can't even you lack basic features that you have on a standard game basically. So you can't even justify spending the time that you spend on a normal game on it.
Yeah, and there's also this thing called what Valve done with Half-Life Alyx. They made the perfect VR game, and there's like nobody replicating it because you would need to make a high budget
Hmm.
investment into VR, which is just stupid. This platform isn't growing. Why would you?
Yep. I suspect they'd be basically anticipating a surge in the coming years. So maybe they're trying to get a head start. I don't know.
I mean, I'm thinking of buying a headset, but just to basically walk through Half-Life Alyx and I don't know, play some super hot, something like that. But
Yeah.
nothing large. Like I don't plan to live my days in VR.
Yeah, I mean, what would you even do that for?
And
So
see, you can't even do it on the Apple Vision Pro. What's the point? You can't even play Half-Life Alyx on it.
isn't Wouldn't the Apple Vision Pro, by the way, use the same interface as the MacBook, locking you still into the Apple ecosystem?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so yeah, even more fucking useless.
Of course, it locks you down. That's their whole shtick. They will lock you down in their ecosystem, and you will be happy.
Yep.
And you will pay them tax for the rest of your life.
Yep. You will own nothing, and you will be happy, to quote a certain show, basically. Yep.
By the way, I don't know. We are calling it quits. Like we have the material to publish. There are no viewers. We did
No,
activity.
nobody.
Yeah, there's nobody.
Well, that's yeah, yeah. I don't think this is